Hey, everybody, this is Tell the Truth Sports Radio. I'm your host, Ron Fitz. And I'm here to tell you the truth and nothing but the truth when it comes to sports. And I just want to tell you, this is the boxing show. And all I want to tell you is told you. I told you exactly how Canelo was going to win, and he won exactly like that. I told you exactly how the fight was going to go. I told you Saunders was going to be winning early. He's going to be boxing pretty and cute. And eventually Canelo would catch him, and Canelo would win by decision, if not stoppage. But this time he stopped him. And I want to tell you what happened. Saunders, and this is what I saw. Saunders fought Chris Eubanks Jr., and he won the fight, but Chris Eubanks Jr. hit him with a right hook. And he caught him a couple of times. Chris Eubanks Jr. was wild. He's learned trying to get trained correctly now. Roy Jones, I think, is trying to train him. But at the time, he was wild, throwing wild punches. And Billy Saunders outboxed him and popped him enough times to win a decision. But he got caught too many times, keeping his hand down, being reckless. Can't everybody be Pernell Whitaker? Can't everybody be Muhammad Ali and Roy Jones? They had amazing quickness. This guy has decent quickness, but he kept his hands down, and Canelo's camp knew that. And I'm watching the fight, and I'm thinking, why is Canelo not jabbing? He's got a good jab. He's losing, but he's going to the body well. He's pinning him to the corner at times, but he's still losing. But he kept throwing the right uppercut. He wasn't really landing, but he kept throwing it. And I'm like, he must know something. And lo and behold, Saunders had his head down, arms down, and Canelo popped him with a hard right hook that tore his eye socket. I think it broke his eye socket, and that was the end of the fight. But then I watched a video of Canelo and his trainers. It was maybe a week or two beforehand, working on one punch, the right hook. They worked on the right hook over and over and over again. And this is the importance, when you're a great fighter, this is the importance of preparation, understanding your opponent's weakness, and maybe abandoning your style a little bit to go after his weakness. And the greatest fighters are the versatile ones. And Canelo's versatile because he could jab, or he can go aside, or he could box and stay away. He fought Jacobs, he stayed away. Jacobs was a bigger guy. He bobbed and weaved and jabbed and got out of the way and got a decision. This fight, Saunders was not as big. And he knew that Saunders only, and this is another thing, Saunders had 14 knockouts in 30 fights. And I'm thinking, he can't hit. He's not going to keep Canelo off, and he couldn't. He was boxing Canelo, but Canelo was coming in. Canelo fought like he knew it was just a matter of time. There was no pressure. Even when Saunders was winning rounds, Canelo knew he was going to win. He was under no duress. He didn't have to dig down deep to win this kind of fight. So I got him pound for pound only because Errol Spence and Terence Crawford not fighting. I had Terence Crawford pound for pound, but I can't. I got to have him. So I have him at the top because he's been busy and he's got fighting top level fighters. And Sanders is a B fighter. Now he's going to fight an A fighter in Caleb Plant. This is a whole different story. This is where Canelo, I'm telling you, oh, no, he'll beat him easy. No, he won't. Canelo's going to have to dig down deep to get this one because Caleb Plant has intangibles. He doesn't have experience, but he's got the heart. He's taller. He uses jab. He's very competitive. And he's gifted. He's not going to keep his hands down stupidly. He doesn't fight with a level of arrogance that Sanders fights. He's very focused and hungry. And this is something he wanted. And this could, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but this could be like Teofimo versus Lomachenko, where Teofimo's a younger guy versus the star. And he was competitive, and he went after it. And Canelo in his camp, they're going to have to dig down deep. The one thing I did notice about Canelo, he doesn't fight 12 rounds. All throughout his career, he will go 9 rounds. There'll be rounds he takes off, and the other guy could, if he's smart, he'll hustle like Saunders did. Can't do that against Caleb Plant. He's going to have to go all 12 rounds. He's going to have to fight him a little bit like Jacobs, where he bobs and weaves, sets his shots up, and he's going to have to hurt him because Caleb Plant is the one guy that could sting Canelo. Remember, Triple G stung Canelo in the second fight in round 9 and staggered him. And he didn't, Canelo out hustled him 8 rounds. So toward the end of the fight, Triple G did come on, but it was too late. Canelo did earn that win. But Plant has the same type of power. He's not Ben Benitez. Ben Benitez is the most powerful puncher in all of the super middleweight division. That's a very bad matchup for Canelo. This is a pick'em. Canelo could win this. Plant can win this. It depends on who wants it more, who executes their game plan better. This is a pick'em fight. Oh, no, Ron, you're crazy. No. I watched Caleb Plant and I watched Canelo. And because Caleb Plant's a bigger fighter and a better fighter than Jacobs, and he's younger, he's hungry, this is going to be Canelo's camp is going to, like, remember when Leonard had to dig down deep against Hearns? This is that type of fight where you got to dig down deep in your corner. Is like, listen, you got to give me more. And it's going to be the same for Caleb Plant. Their corner is going to be like, you got to give me more these last 3 rounds. The fight's up in the air, and whoever has enough is going to win that. But I did something different. One of my favorite trainers is Hakeem Abdul-Wahid, and I pray I got his name right, because I will never disrespect him because I have the ultimate respect for him. Instead of interviewing him, I wanted him to show my audience what really happened in the Canelo fight and what could happen in the future Tyson Fury Joshua fight. And he was really good at breaking it down.
No, tell everybody who you are.
Abdul Hakeem Wahid.
The great trainer. I've known you for about 25 years, and you're technically sound. So the reason I wanted to do this segment like this, because you could show the audience what happened. And I want to set it up first. Canelo usually is a good jabber. Did not jab a lot. He saw film. I watched film of Sanders, and I said this on my show, that keeps his hand low, and he got caught with the right hook by Conor Benn, who's not even as good as Canelo, twice, and staggered him, but Conor Benn couldn't finish him.
But Canelo he had his hands low all night.
Now, what Canelo was doing, he's throwing the right hook, not landing, but getting closer and closer each round. Then he finally caught him. Show everybody that right hook that he did with your he's Sanders.
He threw the uppercut.
He threw the right hook.
He was right down here.
Oh, so he threw the shot.
He threw the shot.
And he threw the uppercut.
So when that happens, when you hit somebody with the uppercut, is that so flush that that's kind of staggers them or takes his equilibrium out?
Well, the uppercut can break your jaw. It can do more than just take your equilibrium. It can knock you out. If it lands properly, it can really do some serious damage to somebody.
How important is video, watching your opponent on video? Because Canelo and them, they saw what I saw, and I'm not even in their camp, but they had to see the tendencies he had, and that's what
one thing with watching videos is good as a professional. But amateur fighters don't get a chance to watch video of their opponents. Most of the time they go to a fight, they don't even know who the person is.
But for professional video
I would recommend you get as much knowledge about your opponent as possible.
Because Canelo has a great jab. He didn't use the jab at all, but he used that hook because he saw the opening in the video.
The uppercut because he knows that Billy Joe Saunders like to drop his head. So normally when an opponent drops his head, you lift him up. You can either hit him with a check hook, but the best punch for somebody ducking and you lift him up with an uppercut.
But show me the right angle to throw that right uppercut.
The right uppercut? You don't have to see most people bowl with the shot, but you don't have to bowl with it. You just come here and shoot the uppercut.
Short.
From right there.
And hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you put your body in hips, but you have to be planted to throw the uppercut. You can't just throw it like this because you're going to be off balance. But to get a good leverage uppercut, and then it sets up the hook right behind it.
Nice. And that's how he won. Now, you, Hakeem, are Tyson Fury, and you are Anthony Joshua. Now you come on in here. You're Anthony Joshua. Now you tell me how you think this fight is going to go. You're Tyson Fury in his camp, fighting the Joshua, who's a power puncher.
Well, you know the way
Joshua's going to fight like that. Okay.
First of all,
Waiting for that right hand all day.
yeah, but Joshua should be not standing right in front of Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury has apparently gonna have the long reach. He's gonna be a tall guy. So what he needs to do, he's trying to get inside. He's gonna need to get inside. So if he's shooting a shot, he needs to be getting inside on him. Nope. He needs to get inside and not be out here on the end of them long punches.
He's got it. Now, he's been down a couple times before. So how does Fury be leery of Joshua's power? So how does that get neutralized?
Well, he don't have to worry about his power if he's away from him.
Okay.
Only when he gets inside, now it's a problem.
Okay.
When he's outside, he don't have to worry about
because
power.
he got the reach.
He has the reach, and we know that Tyson Fury fights tall. He's a tall, lean guy. He fight and he's a boxer. He moves. So the best thing for Joshua is to try to work his way inside and jab inside of the jab that Tyson Fury, being a taller guy, so he should be jabbing him at his chest. So because when he jabs at his chest, his punch is going to get there. In case he get underneath, he jabs at his chest.
Okay.
Because if he try to stay out here and jab, he can get picked apart.
So if you're Joshua's camp, what do you tell him? Because he has the disadvantage of boxing, even though he's a good boxer, he's not as good as Fury, but he does have the power, but he doesn't have the...
One thing about Joshua, he's more of a slugger,
okay,
and a boxer.
Mm-hmm.
We know for a fact that Tyson Fury is a boxer. He's slick, he moves around, and Joshua is more a flat-footed fighter, and because he's relying on power. See, one thing about Tyson Fury, he don't rely on power. He rely on beating you with points and speed. So what Joshua has to do, like I said, don't let him you should never allow him to take a jab completely away. He got to still jab inside his jab. If Tyson Fury throwing the jab, he got to jab inside the jab.
Okay.
To jab him in the chest.
Okay. And that's his chance.
And that's his chance.
See, that's why you're...
And then he get inside, get underneath him. And, once he get inside, he shouldn't pull out. He should make Tyson Fury put him on his heels and push him back. That'd be the best bet for him.
See, that's why you're the master, man. You're the master trainer. That's why I use you, man. Thanks a lot.
Okay, we're back here at Tell the Truth Sports Radio. I want to talk about the pound for pound rankings and the divisions and what I think. The bantamweight division, there's a boogeyman, Naoya Inoue from Japan. He is a monster. He has 20 fights, 17 knockouts. It's not that he has 17 knockouts. He is technically sound. He has a great jab. He has a ridiculously tough right hand. He puts people to sleep, but he sets it up. He's not just a slugger. He's got it all. He's just in the bantamweight division. He's going to beat everybody. He's going to beat the brakes off everybody in this division. He's probably going to have to move up to featherweight and even junior featherweight, even featherweight. He might have to move up 2 weight classes to fight like a Gary Russell or something like that, just to get his name out there. But the junior lightweight division could be Oscar Valdez and Shakur on a collision course. I like that. The lightweight division, woo! You got Lomo, if he ever comes back. Ryan Garcia, he's going to come back from his hiatus. He's dealing with different issues personally. Lopez, Haney, Tank. I mean, that's a lot. If you had Ryan Garcia and Teofimo Lopez, that's a moneymaker. And I'm rooting for Haney to beat Linares. Like they said, well, Haney's unmarketable. How do we know? Let Haney fight Tank. Let Haney fight Lomachenko. Let Haney fight Lopez so we can find out how marketable is he. Maybe he comes out of his shoes and knocks one of them out and shows power. I want to see the best fight the best. Forget all these excuses. But they all have to fight each other. I hope they will. And the junior lightweight, I'm hammer hands. Julian Rodriguez. Josh Taylor needs to fight him. Ramirez, all these guys need to fight him. Stop running from this guy. I'm going to save the welterweight for last. But the junior middleweight, Jamar Charlo beat everybody in this list. Now, Eric Salubin can make a comeback and maybe do a rematch. He got blasted by Charlo. Charlo beat everybody in this division. Middleweight, they have good Triple G #1. They should not. It's Jamal Charlo. This is the truth. Let's do Tell Truth Radio. Because Triple G lost to Canelo. And he hasn't fought anyone of significant sense. It's Charlo, Andre, and then Triple G. And if Triple G wants to be #1, go fight one of those guys. That's all. Fight Charlo, fight Andre. Stop with the nonsense. And I want to see Charlo and Triple G fight. Or Andre and Triple G. My gosh. Super middleweight, of course, I told you about Plant, Benitez. Those are the guys. Light heavyweight, Beterbiev, Bivol, Brown. I want to see Brown and Pascal rematch. I want to see Marcus Brown win. I want to see Marcus Brown and Beterbiev. Those are the two best. Badu Jack is good. But I want to see Beterbiev and Brown. If Brown can get past Pascal, I want to see that fight. Brown can box, and Beterbiev is a sledgehammer of a fighter. And the heavyweights is about Fury and Joshua. They're going to fight, I believe, the 17th of August in Saudi Arabia. And I saw Deontay Wilder as a new trainer, and I'm going to tell you something. He looks good. He's boxing. He's on his toes. He's moving around side to side. If he can box, he fights like a Ruiz and knocks him out with that style, he's going to be avoided because Eddie Hearn's going to play keep away. If Wilder looks sloppy, they'll say, okay, we could sip him at. If Wilder looks very sharp, Eddie Hearn will have Tyson Fury and Joshua fight 4 or 5 times just to stay away from Wilder. That's why I sidestepped through that rematch clause. They could have Fury could have fought a third time, but they got around that because Eddie Hearn's looking at the international dollar, and he didn't feel like Wilder is marketable enough. And that's another story I'm gonna get into one day when I talk about race and boxing. I'm gonna get into it hard. I'm gonna tell the real truth about that. But that's not for this show. But for now, that's where we're at. But I'm gonna save the best for last. The welterweight division. No one's fighting no one. I want you to just look at this welterweight division for a second. Mickey Garcia, Jaron Ennis, who is a beast, 27-0, 25 knockouts. Virgil Ortiz, 17 wins, 17 knockouts. This guy can fight and he can knock you out. Daniel Garcia. Your Dennis Ugas, who gave Porter trouble. Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Pacquiao, Crawford, and Spence. They all could fight each other, and every one of those fights would be great. And no one's fighting anyone. I think the key for Terrence Crawford is to get away from Bob Arum. Bob Arum just make fights. For Don King, you would have Leonard and Duran fight each other. It was King and Arum agreeing. But the older Arum got, the more he likes to play keep away. And he doesn't want Crawford fighting any of the PBC fighters. If Crawford went to PBC, it would open the floodgates. Now everyone would fight everyone, and it'd be a lot more fun. And if Virgil Ortiz could leave, and you could have everybody fight everybody. The welterweight division was set boxing on fire.
You are in the middle of the storm. Provided you win this fight tonight, Saturday against Diaz, you got option with Porter, Thurman, or Spencer Brook, or Lemon, Chico, and Garcia. You seem like you're in the middle of a storm of great competition. With all the great fighters and options that you have, provided you win the fight against Diaz.
Maybe.
Now, you're the best combination I've ever seen of a guy that can switch from left hand to right hand. When were you able to learn that skill?
I've been doing that since I was a kid.
Now, is there a possible match for Adrian Broner provided you win?
Who knows? Right now, my main focus is on Diaz.
What do you think the key to this winning against Diaz?
You said what?
The key to winning versus Diaz.
Just being myself.
Okay.
Well, next time we talk, I told you Nick's had a rough year this year. We're looking for a big show this weekend. This is your first fight for a big room at MSG. Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson. What does that mean for you as a great fighter right now to fight in the main room at MSG? It's a big thing.
I mean, it's a lot, being that, like you said, a lot of the greats have fought in there. But at the same time, I'm looking to make my own legacy.
I'm happy here to be on Monique Danielle show with Larry Hazard. What are you up to right now?
Well, I'm not up to what you see is what I'm up to.
But you're always about helping people, Ivo, even when you were commissioner.
Well, about helping kids mainly, yeah, but helping people in general. You know, that's what we're put here for.
Yeah.
You know, and certainly I've been blessed in my life. People helped me. So, you know, it's only fair that I help others. I have to give back.
You know, I love this sport, and I was watching a YouTube. It was a boxing match, and you were refereeing, and it was on regular TV. Why is boxing not on regular TV like it used to be?
Well, I guess it's all about money and a lot of other things. But I think in order for boxing's popularity to come back like it once was, it should go on regular television, because a lot of this pay-per-view stuff that they try to sell really is not sellable.
No.
And people lose interest in the game. And, you know, when you have up-and-coming talent, in order for more people to see it, you have to put it out there and make it more accessible to the general population. And a lot of people can't afford it, so it's best to put it on regular television.
Yeah, like you could put your Yorkis Gamboa, who hits hard, one of the best hitters in the business, put him on NBC, sell that, let him fight some fights, then put him on pay-per-view. Everybody knows him.
Well, it's the marketing strategies change over the years. But you know what happens, like the wheel turns, and after they begin to lose enough money, you know, they'll come back around to doing it the right way. Certainly in order for boxing to regain some of the luster and popularity that it once had, you know, you have to go back to that old formula. You know, ABC, NBC, CBS, you know, that type of strategy. And I think that that's a solution to it.
See, you heard,
along with, you know, developing that talent that people want to see.
Now, one more question before we leave. The heavyweight division, the Klitschko's are great, but is it a problem that there's no straight marketable heavyweight, that next guy that's going to come up to challenge him, that next great matchup?
Well, American heavyweight, you know, certainly popularity of our sport has always hinged on the success of a good American heavyweight, you know, and so we have to get one. We have to find another one. But, you know, boxing in America is now dealing with the forces of basketball and football and all of some of the other sports. And that's one of the things that we don't have in boxing. One, we don't have the lobbyists that some of the other sports have to promote our sport. And then our sport is not really associated with education. You know, the interscholastic sports. You follow me?
Yes.
So that's why I've always been a great advocate of somewhere, if we can get the sport of boxing into the interscholastic scheme of things, whether it be through the club type situation, or whether make it an interscholastic sport. I mean, football is just as dangerous as boxing.
Yes.
So that old excuse that the sport is too dangerous, that doesn't hold water anymore. And it's really not like promoting violence, because there are other forms of violence. Football is violence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, at some point, if we can get boxing, you know, into that educational realm where it could go from the high schools to the college level where youngsters could even get scholarships to go to college on boxing. I think that it certainly would increase the interest in the sport.
So you heard it here. Larry Hazard, thanks a lot, man. You dropped a lot of knowledge on people. You better recognize the things he said. That's very important. Okay.
I'll catch up.
Okay.
Good to see you.
My dream matchup, Mayweather and Pacquiao. I'm going to be positive. I believe it's going to happen this year. What do you think?
Me too.
I got this feeling it's going to happen.
It's getting closer, I think.
And I listened to your coach. You're awfully confident. So.
Oh, I am. The thing is, obviously, they're both great fighters, and we know that Mayweather's undefeated, and he's the A side. So I think negotiations. We understand the way it's going to go. We'll favor him a little bit more because he is the A side of that coin. But the thing is, I look forward to the fight. Manny looks forward to the fight. We've been waiting long enough.
I want to be hypothetical. Manny Pacquiao versus Roberto Duran.
Well, I've been asked that once before, and I picked Duran because I think it's disrespectful to go against a legend. He is a legend. Manny's still career is still going on right now, so we're not going to call it. We don't know what he's going to be at. He has a great record, 8 world titles and stuff like that. But Duran is a legend, and right now Duran, I got to go with Duran.
I got 2 more. Aaron Pryor, Pacquiao.
I'm not the biggest fan in the world of Aaron Pryor. I mean, he was real busy, but I just think technique-wise he wasn't. I don't know. Just Pacquiao could beat Aaron Pryor. Sorry.
One more, and you want to think about this: Salvador Sanchez versus Pacquiao.
At 126, you go Salvador. At 135, I'm going with Pacquiao.
Thank you. Man.
Oh, man.
I am happy to be here with Michael Spinks.
Oh, my goodness.
I had talked to you 10 years ago, and you still look the same. How's that possible?
I don't know. I must be eating them Wheaties or something. I don't know. People say I look the same, but to me, I don't. But I appreciate it.
Listen, I want to talk about my favorite fight when you fought Kwawi, and Kwawi liked to get in people's heads, but you kind of threw what we call the Spinks jinx on him.
That's right. And Braxton, Dwight Muhammad Kwawi, he knew me very well because when he got out of college,
yes,
he came to Joe Frazier's gym, and I boxed him every day. So I got really used to him. Me and him were sparring partners, but he was not my sparring partner, but he became my sparring partner later on in my career. But me and Dwight had some nice little battles in Joe Frazier's gym. So he remembered me very well. So I was hoping that when we fought that he would remember what I used to do to him in Joe's gym. And when I hit him with the right hand, it kind of brought it all back to him. So he just, waved the waters, and I was able to win the fight.
I want to talk to you about my all-time fight that never occurred, Bob Foster versus Michael Spinks.
Woo! What a fight that would be, man. Oh, man.
He was tall.
Yeah, he was very tall, very tall.
How would you beat him?
Oh, man. I'd probably start off with a tackle. I'd probably tackle him first, sit on him, and then just beat him right on the ground under me. But I don't know how I would fight Bob. I would stay away from Bob for a while and rush him.
Okay.
Try to put pressure on Bob.
Okay.
And I think that's the only way to beat Bob. Put pressure on him and back him up and take his fight away from him.
See, what made you great and what made you a heavyweight and that eventual heavyweight champ was your boxing IQ. A lot of fighters don't have that, but you have that.
Yes, that's right. I had a great teacher in the gym, Merrill. He was a school teacher, so he taught us very well. And I was able to use that to my advantage in the ring,
Finally, what are you up to right now?
Well, I'm just trying to stay out of trouble and, just, dealing with my children. And I got 3 of them. And I'm just trying to deal with my children, stay out of trouble, and be good.
Okay, to give you a hand. I'm gonna let you go on that note.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks so much.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. This next guest is Harold Letterman. Harold, we're going to the scorecard. You know, me and you've been talking off camera about the Brandon Rios fight. How was that scored? How did he even win one round?
Well, I mean, he may have won 2 or 3, but that's about the most. Richard Abreu won the fight.
Yes.
To be honest with you, I didn't even think he belonged in the fight, but he boxed a nice fight. He's a tall guy with a good jab, and he boxed a real good fight. He was good defensively, and somehow or another, Brandon Rios just couldn't get into the fight. I mean, there's no question. He just, he was off his game, and that's about all there is to it. It was a real off night. I don't know if he was having problems with the weight or if
Might have been. It
psychological that he couldn't make 135 anymore, or that
And not get that bonus money.
or that he lost the big payday with
Yes.
Yuriorkis Gamboa. That bothered him also.
That leads me to my next question. Gamboa versus Abreu? You like that? Tall versus short? No?
I mean, I don't know if anybody at 135 pounds right now is going to beat Yuriorkis Gamboa, except for one Marquez. But
Yes.
Yuriorkis Gamboa is fast. He can punch. He can move. He's undefeated. He hits hard.
He hits hard,
But listen, anybody that walks out on 2 press conferences when they're supposed to make over $1 million, biggest payday of their career, and he walks away is crazy.
That's crazy. Are you? I don't care how popular you are. Are you kidding me?
So, you got to wonder about Yuriorkis Gamboa if he's got his head on straight.
Yes.
But if he does, he's probably
so
the
exciting.
second best 135-pound fighter in the world.
Yeah,
today.
Juan Manuel is good. He might be good till he's about 60.
I'm telling you.
I thought he beat Pacquiao. I'm telling the truth.
Yeah, he certainly gave him a tough fight. He was on, he was on the Abreu show. He looked very, very good with that
Very good.
Fedorchenko.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's still a force to be reckoned with. He really can't go up to 40 or 47. Yeah, he's not that big. He's a true 35-pounder.
Yes.
We're talking about Juan Manuel Marquez. So, really he ought to stay at 35 and take on guys like Yuriorkis Gamboa, because that would be a sensational fight.
Yeah, finally, I know you're a classy guy, but did you ever do a fight where the decision was so bad you walked up to the other judge and was like, are you kidding me?
No, not really. What can you say? You know what? I'm going to go over to Jerry Roth and tell him I don't know what he was looking at. No, you can't do that.
Were you ever tempted?
Well, you think about it.
Okay, man. Take care.
Thank you. Thanks for
All
having
right.
me.
Okay. I am pleased to have Winky Wright, one of the greatest fighters ever lived, where people don't give enough credit to. How you feel about what I just said?
I agree with you 100%.
Now, the fight, everybody's saying that Floyd avoided Pacquiao. I don't think that. I think Floyd avoided you.
No, me and Floyd was in different weight classes, man. But Floyd a great fighter, you know what I mean? Taking
Did you ever talk about fighting?
One time they mentioned it, but it was just pretty much a joke. But like I said, in my prime, I was doing my thing, he was doing his thing, and he a great fighter.
Let me tell you something. Phil Street as my favorite fighter of all time. You beat him so bad, after the fight, I stood up and clapped.
Once again, if you are just joining us, welcome
Hey,
to
man, I
Pro
appreciate it. Like I said, man, I got dunked a lot. A lot of people didn't want to fight me, so when I finally got my chance, I had to shine.
You know who you remind me of? Remember the body snatcher where Hearns and those guys didn't want to fight him?
Yeah,
And his career went that way?
Mike McCollum. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Now, was it close? Were you ever going to fight Oscar De La Hoya?
Nah, he ducked me. He point blank ducked me. He told me he wasn't going to never fight me. The fans wanted to see it, but he fought everybody but me. And I beat everybody he fought, but he still wouldn't fight me. So.
Thank you very much, Angie.
Now, what about when Bernard was middleweight? Was there ever a chance you were going to fight him or not?
No, I don't think so. We just never, looked at that. He was middleweight, I was junior middleweight. I was doing my thing, he was doing his thing. But when we finally did fight, I had nobody to fight, so I had to move up 2 weight classes to fight. And like I said, I still think I beat him.
Finally, I think people appreciate you now that you're retired. They're looking back now at your career. What do you think?
I think so too. They really realized how many people ducked me, how many people didn't really want to fight me, and you know, the accomplishment I did. You know, I would have been the only fighter to have been the undisputed junior middleweight and middleweight champion at the same time if I'd have got my decision from Jermaine Taylor. Never been done before. So, you know.
in attendance that will be calling the action on Fox.